What happens when a Dubai-based banking giant, Emirates NBD, eyes a controlling stake in an Indian mid-sized private sector bank? A deal that could reshape RBL's future course of action if it goes through. In this video, we will break down why this deal matters for RBL, the bank's turnaround under Vishwavir Ahuja's leadership between 2010 to 2021, the heavy price of speculative growth under Mr. Ahuja's leadership, and the turnaround efforts under new CEO R. Subramaniakumar since 2020. So let's understand why Emirates NBD deal matters for RBL and also for investors and the shareholders. The very first thing is the capital base. Stronger tier 1 capital, loan book growth, reduce deposit dependence. The fresh equity infusion by NBD will strengthen tier 1 capital and enable RBL Bank to grow its loan book more confidently. It will also reduce dependence on a high cost bulk deposit and in a way support the balance sheet stability. Second is the risks, advanced risk management, compliance, credit analytics and underwriting discipline. So these are the three important aspects which will come if this deal goes through. So in a way RBL will have access to global risk management systems. Emirates NBD brings advanced risk management, compliance and credit analytics frameworks which are vital for a bank that earlier suffered from asset quality volatility. This will also enhance underwriting discipline and portfolio diversification. Third is the funding and the liquidity, foreign currency funding, trade finance and remittance corridor. Now again these three are very important for the RBL Bank. As we all know, Middle East link can open foreign currency funding lines and diversify RBL's liabilities beyond domestic wholesale markets. This is also an opportunity to access trade finance and remittance corridor between India and the Gulf countries. The fourth point is the product innovation. Digital banking, wealth management, cross-border payment and new products. Again, these are very important for RBL Bank. RBL can now leverage NBD's expertise in digital banking, in the wealth management and the cross-border payments. There are possibility of new co-branded products, NI banking, SME trade products and also digital lending platform. And finally is the credibility. Strong external confidence, improve investor sentiments, rating outlook and depositor trust. All these things will matter for RBL. तो कई इन्वेस्टर्स अभी भी एक होप लगा रहे हैं कि जो RBL का ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन और जो टर्नअराउंड हुआ अंडर विश आहूजा बिटवीन 2010 एंड 2021 वो सब चीजें वापस आएंगी, but that looks very difficult. So let's first understand the 2010 and the 2021 transformation, and this will help us to know what all NBD can do for the bank. So 2010 और 2021 का हमने ये पीरियड लिया है जब विश आहूजा he came from Bank of America and he completely turned around this bank which was earlier known as Ratnakar Bank. So if you look at the balance sheet size, that was just 3,229 crore in 2010 and by 21 it was 1 lakh crore, 31 times, and a CAGR rate was 39%. Look at loans and advances around 2,000 crore, moved to almost 60,000 crores. Again, a 30x growth, 38% CAGR. Now, look at deposits, 2,000 crore to 72,000 crore, 35x growth. Again, 38% CAGR. Net profit only 12 crores into 10, moved to 508 crores. 41x and 42% CAGR. Now this kind of growth is not possible for any bank to sustain for a long period of time. So NBD आए या कोई भी player आए, इस तरह का growth बहुत मुश्किल है ना, उसके reasons हैं. We'll get back to that and this is there in the second chart. Now जो आपने growth देखा 2010 से 2021 it came at a cost and let's understand all these risk factor that were ignored in a way by the bank and also the investors. High risk lending model. वो मॉडल बहुत हाई रिस्क लेंडिंग मॉडल था. दे चेज ROE by lending to riskier segment. तो गुड टाइम में ग्रोथ तो आया, बट जब बैड टाइम स्टार्ट हुए तो NPA स्टार्टेड कमिंग, प्रोविजनिंग बढ़ गया, लॉसेस आ गए, and capital started depleting. Second was a weak liability base. Under invested in CASA deposit, relied on bulk deposits. So the growth this Ahuja के अंदर आया, that was completely dependent on bulk deposit, and bulk deposits are very volatile. आते हैं जाते हैं. It was not about current and savings account, which most of the banks have around 40% of their total deposit. So बहुत weak liability base था RBL का. So good time में चला, लेकिन bad times आए तो it just collapsed. Third is the unsecured and short-term focus. Expanded big time into unsecured retail segment and short-term loans. Now these give very high yield, personal loan, credit card, but they are also very high risky. So ROE मिल गया, profit आ गया, but risk बहुत बढ़ गया था उस मॉडल में. Skewed loan mix. 60% wholesale banking था, 1/3 unsecured by FY19. Now wholesale banking for a small bank like RBL Bank, if there is one bad assets, imagine the kind of impact that will make in the capital adequacy and other provisioning. And boom, before the bust, stock tripled from between 2016 to 2019. Overexposure to risky asset in a way later on pulled down all the gains. So NBD, Emirates NBD आने के बाद, if somebody is expecting 2010 to 2021 kind of a growth, so that is not possible, because that was built on a model which was very risky, and that model collapsed. अब चलते हैं, when the management changed, R Subramaniakumar came, and वो 2022 में आए थे. So अभी हमारे पास 3-4 साल का एक performance है. So let's see when he came and today where is RBL Bank. So net profit देखें तो provisioning सब कुछ हुआ, clean up हुआ, तो 75 करोड़ का लॉस था. आज की डेट में 695 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट है. सो बैंक इज डूइंग वेल ऑन द प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी फ्रंट. नेट इंटरेस्ट मार्जिन देखें तो 4.4 थे, अभी 4.89 है, विच इज ओके. मोस्ट ऑफ द बैंक्स फुल स्केल यूनिवर्सल बैंक हैव NIMs of around 4 to 5%. So bank is doing well on the NIM side. Now let's look at the gross NPAs. So lot of efforts were done on the NPA side. So 4.4 at 2.60. So bank has reduced its gross NPA, though it's still high, but okay, it's doing well as compared to FY22. Provisioning coverage ratio देखें तो 70% था, अभी 89.9% है. The bank is doing well on the provisioning side. Now let's come to some of the areas which are in a way a concern for investors. Cost to income 56-66 is very high. Most of the banks have cost to income of less than 50%. So 56, it has gone up to 66%. A lot of hiring, high management costs. So cost to income is very high. Income is not increasing. So in a way, if your denominator will not increase, but the cost is increasing, you'll have a high, cost to income. So they have to do a lot on the income side. ROA देखें तो माइनस में था, अभी 0.51. Most of the bank have 1 to 2% ROA. So बैंक बहुत दूर है अभी 1% ROA से. रिटर्न ऑन इक्विटी देखें तो नेगेटिव था, अभी 4.53 है. Most of bank are aspiring for a 18 to 20% ROA return on equity. So very low return on equity. कासा देखें तो 35-34. तो कासा में अभी कोई इंप्रूवमेंट नहीं आई. अभी भी लोगों को डर है कि कहीं ये बैंक बस ना हो जाए, या people still consider it as a weak bank. So पैसा नहीं आ रहा है, and bank is also focusing a lot on granular low cost deposit. तो वो भी एक रीजन हो सकता है कि ये धीरे धीरे बिल्ड होगा, बट कासा इज वेरी लो. कैपिटल एडिक्वेसी 16-15. So capital adequacy also in a way is not very healthy. They need capital. So if you look at all these parameters, Emirates NBD के आने के बाद company has to do a lot of work on the cost to income side. They have to increase their income, reduce cost, then only this ratio will go down to an industry level of 50%. Return on assets, they have to increase return from their assets, which is very low, from 50 basis 0.50 to 1, a long way for the bank to cover. ROE again very low. I don't think, maybe because of hype the share price will go up, but with a 5% ROE, they have a long way to go. There are many other better banks in the market, with like 10, 15, 20% ROE. CASA, again, a lot of work has to be done on the CASA side. So if NBD comes, people will perceive it as a single largest shareholder or a promoter, though they won't get a tag of a promoter. Voting rights are restricted to 26%. But हो सकता है कि उस आने के बाद कुछ कॉन्फिडेंस आए और कासा बढ़े. एंड फाइनली कैपिटल रेजिंग विल सर्टेनली इंप्रूव विद एमिरेट्स एनबीडी. तो जैसा कि आपने देखा, द काइंड ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन और द टर्न अराउंड बैंक सॉ from a sleepy small a regional Ratnakar bank to a completely full scale bank till 2021. But then the collapse happened and the new management came in, and they are trying to diversify the retail book, the wholesale book, and a lot of efforts have been done in the last 3-4 years. But if the NBD deal sail through, there is likely to be a push in terms of the confidence which the investors, the depositor will get. But the bank has a long way to go because of a very low ROA and the ROE. And if you are considering investing in RBL Bank, I suggest do consult your investment advisor.